Hi, this is Stephen Van Kampen-Lewis. It is April 11th, 2020, and I realized that I have not done a whole lot of Catasetum videos in a while. So I figured that, with all the posts online of people asking, hey, should I start to water? Should I start to water? I would make a video talking about what my collection looks like, and I sort of pass it on to you guys and see, so you can kind of compare and contrast where your plants are compared to mine. So, here in Central Texas, it's spring, summer-ish. I have a sweater on today because it's gonna be kind of chilly, but last week we were up in the high 90s. So it's that weird time of year where there's a lot of weather changes. But the Catasetums seem to take it in stride. They don't really care. And I think I only have one or two that have not started growth. So here in the southern United States, your Catasetums are probably fairly well along. I know, just talking to some of my friends in Florida, their Catasetums are much farther ahead than mine are. So I'm going to go over some of the Catasetums and their growth stages that I have, and talk a little bit more about what you should do. Long story short, there's a really good chance that you're probably not watering. You shouldn't be watering, most likely. And with that, I'm going to start off with the smallest growth I have, and then I'm going to get into the largest growth that I have and talk about what I'm doing with them. And long story short, it's nothing yet. So first of all, this is a Catasetum bulb that a friend sent me, and it had two bulbs. The other bulb had another growth on it already, but I noticed that the base of this one was kind of rotten, so I cut it off, and I've just got it sitting kind of all by itself. And as you can see, I don't know if the camera picks that up real well, but it looks like there's a little teeny tiny growth. That's great. So this is one of the more common questions that I'll get is, hey, I have a bulb with a new growth on it. What do I do? Or, it's a growth, a bulb in a pot, and the new growth is up here. So my plan of attack for this guy is I could do two things. Since it's at the base of the bulb, I could just pot it in the medium and add a stake so that it doesn't wiggle. In fact, that's probably what I'll do. What else? The other thing that I could do is I could pot it on the side, and the growth will eventually grow this way. And this bulb will sort of expend itself in a year or two. But until then, you have this weird bulb that's on the side of the on the side of the pot, and you'll kind of need to tie it down some way. Most likely what I'm going to do with this little guy is I'm going to put it in the pot, and the growth will just come out like this. And like I said, I'll attach a stake to the side so it doesn't wiggle and wobble. A bulb that is wiggling in the pot, the roots will die. They won't go down very far. Once those root tips are irritated somehow, they tend to just not grow and die. And if this guy doesn't get good roots on its very first growth, it's toast. So I have two plants right here that are at about the same stage, but I'm showing you both of them because I'm going to treat them differently. So this is Cycnoches varsavixii, and you can see the new growth is way down there. Hopefully you can see it, but it's tiny. The new growth on this Catasetum darkness is right here. It's a little easier to see. But in any case, I want to compare and contrast these guys. So the bulbs on this one, big and fat. I don't need to water this till Memorial Day, which is when I'll probably start watering. There is enough energy in here to keep this plant going until the new growth is big and the roots are 4+ inches. This one could probably do the same, but I see a little more shriveling than I'd like for this late in the year. So there's two things I can do. I can just let it stay as it is, and I'll repot it because it's a little wonky in this pot, and then not water. Or I could give this one a drink or two of water, get the bulbs fattened up again, and a drink or two of water you'll notice a big difference on how these bulbs look. And then it'll have enough energy to make it through Memorial Day, or I keep saying Memorial Day. It's like late May is when I generally aim to start watering these guys. So I think what I'll do, I think I'll give this one a drink next week. There's some cold weather coming up. So these guys will see temperatures into the 40s and the low to mid 40s next week. So they need to be bone dry. But after that, when the world gets hot again, I'll probably give this one a drink or two of water. And the reason that I say that is the new roots have not started coming out on this. So if you're in a warm place and the temperatures are above 55 degrees and your Catasetums looking a little dehydrated, you can give it a little drink of water. Understanding that it's probably not going to get a drink of water for some months still. But I want this to have enough energy to make it through till the end of May without having to water it as the new roots are coming out. So as the new roots are coming out, that's a really sensitive time, and you can have a lot of root dieback if the roots are this long and you start adding water. If the roots hit the water a lot of the time, if they hit wet media, they'll just die. And dead roots mean a dead plant, right? So that's why if you have to water during dormancy, you want to water while the plant is still sleeping or before the new growth gets new roots. So keep that in mind. So the next plant I'm going to show you is a little farther along in terms of its growth. This is Catasetum Dragon's Treasure Cardrona. And this is the plant that I made my original PET video about 18 months ago. It got so big that it grew all around this pot. I just chopped this one up, and I think I sold 5 divisions, maybe 6 divisions. And I kept this, the sort of the center, the oldest bulbs, I kept it for myself. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4 new growths coming in. As you can see, they're a little farther along than the ones that I just showed you, but again, no water. The roots on this guy of the new growths are about this long, so I do not want to hit this with water at all. This guy will stay bone dry, again, hopefully till the end of May. Most likely, I really like to push these guys and let the bulbs shrivel. If you can wait to water, do it. The longer those roots get, the better the root growth will be for that year. So, the minimum of a mature plant is 4 inches, right? So when the roots are about this long, then you can start watering. If you've got a lot of juice still left in those bulbs and the plant looks like it can handle another couple weeks or a couple months of growing the new growth so that it gets even bigger and bigger, and those roots keep growing and then they'll start to branch, man, that's an even better situation. Your roots will be phenomenal for that year. So just keep in mind the 4-inch, waiting till your roots are 4 inches long and the new growth is the minimum. If at all possible, definitely wait longer. And if you can get your roots this long before you start watering, that's awesome. And that said, this is a Catasetum tenebrosum. You can see that this growth it's a good size, but the roots are very small. I'm not sure if that's a good view for you, but I would say the longest roots are about that long at most, so not even close. For this particular plant, I will wait till I see the roots stretching down into here before I even think about watering, and then I'll start to look at these back bulbs, which are already a little shriveled, and then I will think about watering. Ideally, I've got roots in this water well here before I start to water. So again, I just wanted to show you where I'm at, or at least my plants are at. I would say the majority of my plants are probably at about this stage, where the new growth is about this long and the new roots are pretty small still. And again, for the 5th time, I think, I will wait till the end of May, probably, till I start watering, or at least start thinking about watering for the majority of my plants. And then once that happens, it's game on. They basically stay wet until November. So if you have any questions, let me know. Leave comments down below and I'll see if I can answer them. And as always, please, if you like the videos, press like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. You know how it is for YouTube. Anyway, see you later. Bye.